Hi math group. I wanted to do a little bit more quadratic formula work with you. In the preceding two videos, I believe you solved this quadratic equation and this quadratic equation using the quadratic formula. And Math is Power for You worked these out, and you get two answers for 6x squared minus x minus 15 equals 0. So those two are listed. And then there was exactly one answer in the end for 4x squared minus 12x plus 9 equals 0. So we're going to hold that thought, or those thoughts, and switch things up a little bit. I want to solve this equation with the quadratic formula as well. And this one is not in the appropriate format yet, so we have to do some work first. We'll need to distribute the 4x through the quantity x minus 1. You'll get 4x squared minus 4x equals negative 2. And then we'll want to add 2 to both sides of the equation so that we have the equation set equal to 0. When we do that, we get 4x squared minus 4x plus 2 is equal to 0. And then the equation is in the appropriate format to use the quadratic formula. In this case, our a value will equal 4, our b value will equal negative 4, and our c value will equal 2. Plugging these quantities into the quadratic formula, we'll get x equals. We need the opposite of the b value, so it was negative 4, it should now be positive 4 when it's substituted in, plus or minus, giant square root. The negative 4 gets squared, minus 4 times the a value of 4 times the c value of 2. All of this, one giant fraction, over 2 times the a value, which is 4. We'll do a little bit of simplification. Here's the 4 out front in the numerator, plus or minus. In the denominator, 2 times 4 will be 8. And now working underneath that radical, negative 4 to the second power is negative 4 times itself for a positive 16, minus 4 times 4 is 16 times another 2 is 32. So right now under the radical, we have 16 minus 32. Cleaning this up one more step, 16 minus 32 is negative 16. So we end up with 4 plus or minus the square root of negative 16 over 8. This causes some problems for us in this class. When this happens to us, this negative quantity underneath the square root symbol, this means that we are going to get no real solutions for this equation. So, we would just write this down, and we would be done with this problem. For those of you going on to other courses, you will find ways to deal with the square roots of negative numbers. But in this class, in Math 116, we just say, okay, no real solutions. So what has happened to us in these three problems? In the first two problems, we got 2 answers or 1 answer, and now we have a possibility for no answers. And what is happening for us here is the part that is underneath the square root determines how many answers we'll get. If we get a square root of 0, then we only get 1 answer. If we get a square root of a positive number, then we'll get 2 answers. And if we get a square root of a negative number, then we'll have no real solutions. So that part underneath the square root in the quadratic formula is very powerful. It's called the discriminant. So let's make some notes about that. For a quadratic equation in this format where it's all expanded and set equal to 0, the discriminant is b squared minus 4ac, just the part that is underneath the square root. There will be 2 real distinct solutions if that quantity is positive. There will be exactly 1 real solution if that quantity is exactly equal to 0, and there will be no real solutions, probably should have an S right there, no real solutions if b squared minus 4ac is negative. So in the next video, we're going to use this concept of the discriminant to answer some questions about a function that we don't know everything about. We just have a little bit of information.